Age of History 2 is a small Steam game where you as the player gain total control over one country with the goal of global domination. Now, some normal person would probably choose a large world power like the US or Russia. However, I am different. Mind you, I still wanted to conquer the world, but I wanted to do it with a tiny island. Here's my attempt at conquering the world with nothing but a tiny island. Chapter 0 Preparations. Throughout the world, there are many different islands that I could have used for this challenge. However, I settled on Trinidad and Tobago. It's a small island located right here in the Caribbean. You're probably wondering, why would I choose Trinidad and Tobago as my country of choice for this challenge? Well, it's quite simple, really. It carried me through a history project a few years ago. My game plan was simple. I was going to conquer the Caribbean and a few small countries around the Gulf of Mexico, and then I'll go from there. I played the game on normal difficulty, with Fog of War enabled. If you want me to do the run on the hardest difficulty, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below. That's enough talking for now. Let's get into the actual run. Chapter 1 Humble Beginnings. At the start of any new game, you are given 30 technology points to help grow your empire. I settled 15 points into population growth, 5 points to economic growth, and I invested the remaining 10 points into more research. Moreover, this game is very in-depth, and it gives you full control over the economy of your country. So I did what everyone loves, raising taxes. Now it's time to dive into diplomacy. First, I disbanded the royal militia to preserve as much money as possible. Next, since I was such a small country, I tried my best to make allies with other small countries around me in the Caribbean. Even though I will most likely never ally with them, I improved my relationships with the most powerful countries around me so they won't try and attack me. Oh, and real quick, to not make this video 5 hours long, I cut out the riveting gameplay of me pressing the spacebar over and over to advance the in-game time. After a short diplomacy session, I was able to secure an ally in Grenada, another country with only one province to their name. With this newfound ally, I decided that we were ready to take out a nearby small island. I raised an army. Our target was Puerto Rico. I sent out a militia to lay siege on the fellow Caribbean island. Sadly, in the scramble for San Juan, my army was defeated and I was left in immense debt. I felt like this challenge had been cut short as Puerto Rico launched a counterattack. Due to my full send attack, I had no defense prepared and I was left helpless. But for some reason, on that turn that should have marked my demise, they didn't attack. And the next turn, they didn't come. In fact, for 20 whole turns, Puerto Rico's navy sat outside of my port, and not once did they decide to launch an attack. With their lack of motivation to wipe me off the map, I regained enough money to defend my capital. With a quick navy battle, I was able to regain the water around my island. I raised up a new army to take a second crack at my enemy. My first attack failed. Jamaica, who was also at war with Puerto Rico, launched an attack, but to no avail. My second and final rush went in, but was unsuccessful. Seeing as this war was going nowhere, Puerto Rico offered a peace treaty to the Trinidad and Tobago nation. Knowing there was no way that I could win, I accepted the offer and took mercy on the nation. After a short break for my army, I attempted to bombard another victim. I raised an army, moved them into position, and attacked. This time, I won. So this game has a very accurate way of peace negotiations. I walk into a room with my allies, and so does the defeated victim. I slam my hands on the table and demand all the land that they possess, and they accept. I now have double the land I once held. But first, we have to assimilate the citizens that we now rule over. This is just a process of throwing money at them so they don't revolt. This comes into play much later on, so I'll talk about it when it becomes relevant. Also, I changed the color of my country to a bright green, so anytime you see a section of land with bright green, it's owned by Trinidad and Tobago. While trying to rebuild my economy, a small island named Curaçao decided to die by declaring war on Trinidad. With an impressive 3 provinces to my name, I tried my hand at taking down Puerto Rico. Again. Don't worry, I came with a plan. I tried a new technique I developed by attempting to sandwich Puerto Rico into surrendering. However, Puerto Rico stood strong. In retaliation, Puerto Rico launched a relentless attack on my ally. With no way for me to help, I had to watch in agony as Grenada was captured. I tried to recapture the land that belonged to my friend, but sadly, I was unable to. My foolish mistakes had lost me my only ally. Chapter 1.5. Alone. With the loss of my ally, I searched for a new province to claim for my own. I settled on St. Lucia and unleashed a 3 sided onslaught upon them, and they crumbled at the might of my kingdom. I enacted a similar strategy on Barbados. However, they somehow withstood my attack. In retaliation, Barbados captured the province I rightfully stole from St. Lucia. Wait a minute, stole my province? Don't give it back! No! Close one. Since I was at risk of bankruptcy, I decided to make peace with Barbados. However, I knew in order to get stronger, I had to make new allies. Chapter 2. A Newfound Alliance. After looking around in the Caribbean, I successfully allied with the Cayman Islands and Jamaica, who just survived a war against Canada. With my newfound allies, we easily conquered the Dominican Republic, bringing the total province count up to 5. With our newfound strength, my allies proposed death to us all as they carelessly declared war on Guyana, a nation with 4 more provinces than all of us combined. For obvious reasons, I deny any involvement with these idiots and hope that Guyana does not come after me after they mow through my allies. Somehow, my allies managed to survive a little while against Guyana and decided to declare war on Costa Rica. I declined their offer to join the war quicker than Harvard declined me when they saw my gradebook. After destroying my allies, Guyana's bloodthirsty rampage was not over as they declared war on me. I tried making peace with them, but they refused. Guyana sent a relentless fury of attacks. I defended each of them successfully, but I knew that I could not keep this up for long. So, what did I do about it? Well, I called Big Brother Brazil to help me out. Well, actually, they were called the Kingdom of Brazil for some reason, but it's the same thing, all right? In exchange for 22,000 gold, they would declare war on Guyana. They accepted. Guyana was satisfyingly wiped off the map in a matter of a few turns. Somehow, I had managed to survive this dangerous encounter. Chapter 2.5. Recovery. With the Kingdom of Brazil taking down Guyana, my allies were only left fighting Costa Rica. Shockingly, they actually managed to take down Costa Rica, solving all of our problems. Oh, what's this? My allies want to fight Ecuador. Oh no, I think I'll pass. Somehow, I completely missed that Honduras declared war on me. I only realized when my allies joined me in the war. Honduras had an impressive 12 provinces to their name, so I was worried on how this would turn out, but I never would have guessed that this would be an intense war that decided the fate of many. Chapter 3. The Caribbean War. Here's a quick history lesson for you guys. What does history do the most? Repeat itself. What did I let repeat? Me paying off the Kingdom of Brazil to take care of my problems. In retaliation, Honduras sent a weak attack that was easily deflected by my army. I launched an attack at their northernmost province, and I was able to take it. I immediately realized that a revolution had begun in Honduras, and I sent a surplus of money to help the rebellion grow. Oh, Honduras, your weak counters will never work. I attacked their mainland with an army. I was able to take the first province. After attacking their province, I learned that Honduras had no remaining army. I cut through their land like hot knife on butter. We had won. After spending way too long on deciding what provinces I should own, Trinidad and Tobago now has a grand total of 12 provinces. So, remember how I talked about assimilations? Well, here's how it comes into play. Since I had to spend so much money on assimilation so that people wouldn't revolt, I had little to no money. And Belize must have saw my bank account because they quickly declared war on me. They, however, weren't an issue, since Jamaica took them out quickly. The real issue came when Ecuador and our old pal Costa Rica declared war on me at the same time. While I did have two allies on my side who have proved themselves many times, Trinidad and Tobago, the country with the most provinces, had no money. Okay, two things are happening right here. Down at the bottom, Jamaica is fighting for their lives to get the Panama Canal back. Meanwhile, I'm getting nuked by Ecuador and their 2,000 troops. Obviously, I'm unable to defend this attack, and Ecuador plunders my port, which basically means they offed all my citizens, which is a war crime, by the way. In order to stay in the war, I tossed out all government research funds. Costa Rica then takes my eastern coast. Through all of these attacks, I just lost all the land that I gained from Honduras. As a final desperate push, I gather the royal army from my capital to take back what's mine. My first attack is a success, and I regain a bit of land. I immediately take a jab at their capital, and miraculously, I'm able to capture it, effectively taking Costa Rica out of the war. Sadly, my small bit of hope was diminished after Ecuador sent 7,928 troops to recapture the capital. Shortly thereafter, they recapture all of my mainland, leaving me with just a handful of islands. If that wasn't enough, they took the Cayman Islands and Jamaica out shortly thereafter. I had lost my allies. There was nothing I could do. I had lost. Unless I called the Kingdom of Resound, and they accepted my offer. Quickly, I raised an army and attempted to take back Jamaica with great results. Next, take back the Cayman Islands, and it worked. After witnessing my strength, Costa Rica submitted under my will. I attacked Ecuador by the sea, and as they begged for mercy, I reclaimed all of my land. I tried to reclaim the Panama Canal because it belongs to Jamaica, but it didn't work. You see, steamrolling every country's province like that would eventually come to an end. It seems like it's right here. Victoriously, I stole two provinces from Ecuador, both of which, however, belong to my allies. No morning. Suramine is literally attacking my coast. Ah, don't worry. I quickly regained footing and took back my land. Chapter 4 Aftermath. After the wars were over, I had to assimilate all my provinces since I just gained them. Then I made peace with any people who decided they wanted to fight. Then I nuked Belize with an army that was almost double their total population for what they had done during the war. Finally, I restored government funds and mended the economy. This is where I'm going to leave things off for episode 1 of this challenge. We started with one province and ended up with a grand total of 15. I had a ton of fun doing this challenge, and I will be definitely be making a part 2. If you want to see me tackle this challenge live, be sure to check out my Twitch. Finally, if you watched to the end of this video, thank you so much. It means the world to me. So thank you again, and have a nice rest of your day. Bye.